Namaste. Garuda Purana, the last chapter. It has no English translation. It's also very short, about 16 verse shlokas. No, 16. Okay. There we go. Atha Mahatmya Shri Bhagavanuvacha Idya Khyatam Maya Tai Kushu Salvame Baltuva Dehikamu Tashaha Pyanantare Shrutuva Salvapa Paihu Pramujiate Idam Jam Mushimikam Kalma Petra Mukti Pradayakam Putrapan Chitadam Jaivan Paratreha Sukhapradamu Vidam Kalma Na Kulbananti Ye Na Sitikanara Thara Tamahu Na Sitikanara Tamahu Teshum Jalama Peyam Siyatu Suratuliyam Na Samshayahu Devatahu Pitarashachaiva Naiva Pashyananti Tadguruhamu Pavananti Teshum Kopena Putrahu Pautra Shecha Tulgatahu Purahumanoh Kushotriya Paishyah Shudra Shechai Betarepi Shudra Shechai Betarepi Chan Te Janando La Sama Jinyayahu Salve Vratakriyam Vina Vratakalpamidam Punuyam Shrunoti Shrabayachcha Yahu Upau Tao Pa Panimukatao Tulgatim Naipa Kachachatahu Mata Pituroshecha Maranue Salpana Salpalnam Sherenote Tu Yahu Pitarao Mukutima Pananao Sutahu Sanantatimanam Pavetu Na Shrutam Garudam Yana Kaya Shiradatam Cha No Kuratamu Purushotta Saigahu Kuruto Naiba Nacha Masika Vaishike Masika Vaishwike San Katam Katyate Putrahu Katam Muchedrunotrayat Mataram Pitaram Chaiva Katam Tarayitum Kushamahu Tasmat Saiva Prayatanena Shrotabhyam Garudam Kila Taimal Takama Mokushunum Tayakam Tuhakana Shanamu Puranam Garudam Punuyam Pavitram Papina Shanamu Sharanan Batam Kamana Puram Shrotavyam Salvadaiva Hi Brahmano Lapate Vidyam Kushatriyahu Prativim Lapet Vaishyo Tanikatameti Shrudrahu 슈드티아띠 바타카트 슈르트바 다나니 데야니 바자카야 킬라니 짜 볼보크타샤야나디니 볼보크타샤야나디니 나니아타 사팔람 파베트 보라넘 보자야트 볼밤 바자캄 가다나는 따라무 바스트라 람까라 고다나일 다쿠쇼이너 피시짜 바스트라 람까라 고다나일 다쿠쇼이너 피시짜 사다라무 아는 나이시짜 해마다 나이시짜 부미다 나이시짜 부리피흐 보자야드 바자캄 파크티야 바후보느야 팔라브타예 바자카시알 짜네 나이바 부지토함 나 삼차야흐 사는 두시도에 두시도이담 야미 바자케 나트라 삼차야흐 이티 시리가루더 부라노 시라바너 팔라무 넘어서도 seven minutes. Yes, I'll do Bhagavata. Or I'm gonna do Bhagavad Gita. It's the shortest chapter, 20 shlokas. Yeah, and then I'm gonna take a break. Okay. Namaste. Ata Tiva Dashotyayah Bhakti Yoga Arjuna Uvacha Evam Satata Yukta Ye Bhakta Satavam Pariyupasate Ye Cha Pyakusharama Pyakatam Teshum Ye Yogapitamah Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shiradhataya Parayopetah Te Me Yuktatama Matah Ye Devakushara Manil Dashya Mabhyagatam Devakushara Manil Dashya Devakushara Manil Dashya Mabhyagatam Pariyupasate Salvatraga Matin Tiancha Salvatraga Matin Salvatraga Machin Tiancha Kurtasatamachalan Truvama 꾸러스 타마잘라는 투르바무 사는 니야 니에는 드리야 그라함 사는 니야 미에는 드리야 그라맘 살바트라 사마부드 타야흐 때 브라부누바는띠 마메바 살바푸 따히테 라따흐 그에 쇼티카 따라스테 쇼마비아크따 사크따짜따 상암 그에 쇼티카 따라스 그에 쇼티카 따라스테 쇼마비아크따 그에 쇼티카 따라스테 쇼마비아크따 사크따짜따 상암 I want to say it one more time. Gleshotika taras. Sorry, being distracted. Gleshotika taras desho mabiak. Gleshotika taras. Gleshotika taras desho mabiakatan sakatachata sam. Abiakatan hi. Katildu hakam dehabad pira ba biate dehabad pira ba biate ye du salbanui kaimanui mai samniasia matparah ananienaiva yogena mam tiayananta upasate 대쇼 마함 사무드 탈당 무르띠유 삼사라 사가라트 무르띠유 삼사라 사가라트 Sorry, my voice is like terrible. 파바미 자리라트 발타 마야 베시타 짜타 삼 마예바 마나 아타트스바 마이 부드팀 니베샤야 니바시시어시 마이에바 아따 울트밤 나 삼샤야흐 아타 제트담 사마타툼 나 샤쿠노슈이 마이 스티라무 아피아 사요게나 따또 마미츠차뿌툼 타난자야 아피아 세피아 사말토시 마트칼마 파라모 파바 마달타마비 깔마누이 꿀바는 세드티마 바브시아시 꿀바는 세드티마 바브시아시 아타이타다피아 샤크토시 깔뚱 마디오가 마시리타흐 살바칼마 팔라디아감 따따흐 꾸루 야따아트마반 시레요 히 지냐나마 피아사 지냐나드 티아남 비시시어테 티아나드 깔마 Tiana de calma palatiaga casetiaga chichanen tira nanen tarama. Tiana de calma palatiaga setiaga chichanen tira nanen tarama. Tiana de calma palatiaga setiaga chichanen tira nanen tarama. 아드베슈트 살바푸다남 마이트라흐 까루너 에바짱 닐마모 나라항은까라흐 사마두허 카수카흐 구셔미 사는 또실뜨흐 사다땀 요기 야땅아뜨마 드르터니시자야흐 마야이피타마노 부드티리오 마드파크타흐 사메 브리아흐 야스마는 노드비자테 로꼬 로까는 노드비자테 짜야흐 할쇼 말쇼 파요드베 가에 모크토 할쇼 말쇼 파요드베 할쇼 말쇼 파요드베 가에 모크토 야흐 사짜메 브리아흐 아나페쿠쇼흐 슈찔다쿠쇼 우다시노 가타비아타흐 살바라문파 파리디아기 요 마드파크타흐 사메 브리아흐 요 나 후루시어티 나 드베슈투이 나 쇼자티 나 강구셔티 슈파 파리디아기 파크티마니아흐 사메 브리아흐 사마흐 샤트라우 짱 비트레 짱 따탕아 마나 파마나요흐 시도시노 수카두허 캐슈 사마흐 상은가 비발지따흐 뚜리아니는다 스툴 뚜틸 마우니 뚜리아니는다 스뚜틸 마우니 뚜리아니는다 스뚜틸 마우니 사는 뚜시뚜어 예나 게나체트 아니겠다흐 스티라마틸 파크티마는메 브리오 나라흐 예뚜 탈미야 무르땀이담 야토크담 바리우방아사템 시라드다타나 마트파라마 마 파그타 스테티바 메 브리아흐 타트사디티 시리마드 파가바드기 땅수 바니셔트수 브라흐마 비디야얌 요가샤스트레 시리 크르슈놀 주나 삼바데 파크디요고 나마 드바다쇼티아야흐 Arjuna said, of those worshippers who constantly devoted adore thee, and those who, on thee as the indestructible and unmanifest, who are best acquainted with devotion. The Holy One said, fixing the mind on me, they that constantly adore me, being endued with the highest faith, are deemed by me to be the most devoted. They, however, who worship the indestructible, the indescribable, the unmanifest, the all-pervading, the inconceivable, the indifferent, the immutable, the eternal, who, restraining the entire group of the senses, are equal-minded in respect of all around, and are engaged in the good of all creatures, attain to me. The trouble is the greater for those whose minds are fixed on the unmanifest, for the path to the unmanifest is hard to find by those that are embodied. They who, reposing all action on me, regarding me as their highest object, worship me, meditating on me with devotion, undirected to anything else. Of them whose minds are fixed on me, I, without delay, become the deliverer from the ocean of mortal world, the mortal world. Fix thy heart on me alone, place thy understanding on me, hereafter then shalt thou dwell in me, no doubt. If, however, thou art unable to steadily fix thy heart on me, then, O Tananjaya, strive to obtain me by devotion from continuous application. If thou beest unequal to even continuous application, then let actions performed for me be thy highest aim. Even performing all thy acts for my sake, thou wilt obtain perfection. If even this thou art unable to do, then resorting to devotion in me, subduing thy soul, abandon the fruit of all action. Knowledge is superior to application, meditation is better than knowledge, the abandonment of the fruit of action than meditation, and tranquillity immediately from abandonment. He who hath no hatred for any creature, who is friendly and compassionate also, who is free from egoism, who hath no vanity, who is alike in pleasure and pain, who is forgiving, contented, always devoted, of subdued soul, firm of purpose, with heart and understanding fixed on me, even he is dear to me. He through whom the world is not troubled, who is not troubled by the world, who is free from joy, wrath, fear, and anxieties, even he is dear to me. That devotee of mine who is unconcerned, pure, diligent, unconnected, and free from distress, and who renounceth every action, even he is dear to me. He who hath no joy, no aversion, who neither grieveth nor desireth, who renounceth both good and evil, who is full of faith in me, even he is dear to me. He who is alike to friend and foe, as also in honor and dishonor, who is alike in cold and heat, pleasure and pain, who is free from attachment, to whom censure and praise are equal, who is taciturn, who is contented with anything that cometh, who is homeless, of steady mind and full of faith, even that man is dear to me. They who resort to this righteousness, to immortality, which hath been declared, those devotees full of faith and regarding me as the highest object, are the most dear to me. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break, I guess. Should I take a break? I don't know. Okay. It's Ragaveda, chapter 158 of book 1. Here we go. Namaste. Pasu Rudra Purumanantu Purita Puritananta Tashasyam No Purushano Bapishito Purushano Bapish Purushano Bapish Purushano Bapishito Tasara Ha Yadrakuno Aucha Tio Aucha Tio Pam Pra Yat Sasrate Akava Piruti Ko Pam Ta Shatu Sumataye Jidasiai Pasu Yadutete Namasa Pade Goho Jigurutamasume Rebati Puramti Kama Puro Nueva Kama Pure Nueva Manasa Karananta Yukuto Ha Yaduvam Taugriaya Perulvi Mathieu Alnoso Tai Bajrahu Upa Pamabahu Sharanam Kameyam Shuro Najija Najima Patayad Piravaihu Upasututira Jastia Murushian Shuyenama Upasututira Jastia Jatia Upasututira Jatia Murushuenen Shuyenama Upasututira Jatia Upasututira Jatia Murushue Shuyenama Upasututira Jatia Upasututira Jatia Murushuyenama Mamime Patatri Nui Bi Dugutam Ma Meto Tashataya Shichito Ta Kapura Yadavam Badatasatu Badatasatamani Kadati Kusham Na Ma Karanan Nadio Ma Terutama Tasa Yadim Susamud Mubuta Ma Ba Tuho Susamubut Tamaba Tuho Susamubut Tamaba Tuho Shiro Yadasya Draitano Pitakushota Savayam Dasa Uro Amsa Bapi Gutta Di Katama Ma Mateo Jujulban Dashame Yuge Upamaltam Yatinam Brahma Pavati Saratihu Namaste. Ye Vasus twain, ye Rudras full of counsel, grant us strong strengtheners when ye stand beside us. While wealth Auchatya craves of you great helpers when ye come forward with no meager succor, who may give you aught Vasus for your favor, for what at the cow's place ye grant through worship. Make for us understanding full of riches, come with the heart that will fulfill our longing. As erst for Tugura's son, your car sea crossing strong was equipped and set amid the waters. So may I gain your shelter and protection as with winged horse a hero seeks his army. May this my praise preserve Uchatya's offspring. Let not these twain who fly with wings exhaust me. Let not the wood 10 times uppiled consume me. When fixed for you it bites the ground it stands on. The most maternal streams wherein the Dasas cast me securely bound have not devoured me. When Draitana would cleave my head asunder, the Dasa wounded his own breast and shoulders. Dil Katamas, the son of Mamatan, had come to length of days in the 10th age of humankind. He is the Brahman of the waters as they strive to reach their end and aim. Their charioteer is he. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break. Today's study is gonna be short, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Okay. 남았을 야시야 number 4. 야디담 야시에 야시에담 야디. 오케이. 제트다시야 바세티다시에 제트다시야 바세티다시에담 샤스트레노 파리카이마 닐디시아테 따뜻카타마. Wait, 닐디시아테 number 5. 까타 까타마 따뜻카타마 마이트리 까루노 무디토 빼쿠쇼놈 수카도 허카 뿌누여 뿌누여 수카도 허카 뿌누여 뿌누여 비셔야놈 바바나 다시치트타 프라사다나무 수카도 허카 뿌누여 뿌누여 수카도 허카 뿌누여 뿌누여 비셔야놈 바바나 다시치트타 프라사다나무 따뜨라 살바프라 노이슈 수카 삼포가 빠는네슈 마이트림 바바야트 두허키테슈 까루노무 부누여 뜨마케슈 무디타무 아뿌누여시 레베 아뿌누여시 라슈 베쿠쇼무 에바마시아 바바야타흐 슈쿠로 타이마 우파장야테 타타시장 치트탐 프라시다티 프라사는 나메카 그람. Number 1. 그라스티. 오케이. 프라사는 나메카 그라스티티 바담 스티티 바담 스티라 바담 라파테. 오케이. Of which this purification is enjoined by the system. By what means is this? By the cultivation of friendliness towards happiness and compassion towards pain, and joy towards merit and indifference towards demerit, the undisturbed calm of the mind stuff. Of these, he should cultivate friendliness towards all living beings that have reached the experience of happiness, compassion towards those in pain, joy towards those whose character is meritorious, indifference towards those whose character is demeritorious, When he thus cultivates, the white quality comes into being, and then the mind stuff becomes calm, and when calm, it becomes single in intent and reaches a stable state, of which this purification is enjoined by the system. By what means is this? By the cultivation of friendliness towards happiness and compassion towards pain and joy towards merit and indifference towards demerit, the undisturbed calm of the mind stuff. I don't know if I read this part, so I'm going to read it again. Of these, he should cultivate friendliness towards all living beings that have reached the experience of happiness, compassion towards those in pain, joy towards those whose character is meritorious, indifference towards those whose character is demeritorious. When he thus cultivates, the white quality comes into being, and then the mind stuff becomes calm, and when calm, it becomes single in intent and reaches a stable state. Sorry about that. To change the 33 to okay. Brace chaldana bitarano piam. Brace chaldana bitarano piam. Va pranosya. Kaushatuyasya. Va yornasika putta piam. Prayatana bishesho de pamanam. Prayatana bishesho de pamanam. Brace chaldanam. Bitaranam. Prano yamasata pyam. Va manasaha satitim. Sampadayat. Or by expulsion and retention of breath. Expulsion is the ejection of the abdominal air through the apertures of the nose by a special kind of effort. Retention is restraint of the breath, or by these two he should attain to a stability of the central organ. Vishayavati va pravrati niruta panana manasaha satiti nibanantani. Number 3. Satiti nibanantini nasikagre tarayatosya ya Divya gananta sambitasa gananta pravrita diha Jihvagre rasa sambit Taluni Rupa sambit Jihva matye Sparsha sambit Jihva mule Shabda sambititye ta Shabda sambititya ta Tieta hu brava. Huh. Brava. Oh, okay. Shabda sambititya pravrtataya utpanana shichitatam Sorry. 스티땅 니파트나는띠 삼샤얌 비타마는띠 사마티프라지냐얌 짜 드바리 파바는띠띠. Number 1. 파바는띠 에테나 자는드라 디티아그라 하마누이 파라디 파라시미아 디슈 자는드라 디티아그라 하마누이 파라디 파라시미아 디슈 브라브르드띠 루트파느나 비셔야바티에바 베디타비아 야디아피 히 따뜻따뜻차 스트라 누마나 자리오 파데샤이라 바가타 말타 따뜻밤 따뜻차 스트라 누마나 자리오 파데샤이라 바가타 말타 따뜻밤. Almost. 따뜻차 스트라 누마나 자리오 파데샤이라 바가타 말타 따뜻밤. 사드푸 다메바 파바티 에테쇼음 야타푸 달타프라티파 다나사 말티아트 야타푸 달타프라티파 다나사 말티아트 따타피 야바데카데쇼피 까시찌는나 스바카라노 삼베디오 바바티 다바트 살밤 바로쿠쇼미바 바발가디슈 수쿠시메 시발테슈 나 누르텀 부드키 무트바다야티 다스마 제차 스트라 누마나 자리오 파데쇼 보드 발라날 타메바 바시암 다스마 제차 스트라 누마나 자리오 파데쇼 보드 발라날 타메바 보드 다스마 제차 스트라 누마나 자리오 파데쇼드 보드 발라날 타메바 바시암 까시지달타비 셰쇼흐 브라디아쿠슈이 깔타비아흐 따뜨랑 다두파디슈들 타이 가데샤 브라디아쿠셔트베 다두파디슈들 타이 가데샤 브라디아쿠셔트베 다두파디슈들 타이 가데샤 브라디아쿠셔트베 사티 사이밤 수수 그시마 비쇼야마피 아빠발가 쯔츠라드 티야테 에따달타메베담 제트타 바리카이마 느디시아테 아니아땅아수 버르트티슈 다드비쇼야얌 바시카라 삼지냐얌 무파자다얌 사말탐 타시아 브라티아쿠슈이 카라노야티 따탕아 자 사티 시라드타 비리아 스머르티 사마 타요스시아 브라티바는테나 시라드타 비리아 스머르티 사마 타요시아 브라티바는테나 바비시아는 띠띠. Or a sense activity arises connected with an object, bringing the central organ into a relation of stability. The consciousness of supernormal order in one who attends fixedly to the tip of his nose is sense activity with order. On the tip of the tongue, the consciousness of supernormal taste. On the palate, supernormal color. On the middle of the tongue, the consciousness of touch. On the root of the tongue, the consciousness of sound. These sense activities, when arisen, bring the mind stuff into a relation of stability, dispel doubt, and become a way of approach to concentrated insight. Thus sense activity, with regard to the moon or the sun or planets or gems or a lamp or similar object when it arises, should be regarded as being connected with an object. For although the true nature of things as they really are becomes accessible by means of the various sciences and by inferences and by the instruction of masters, since these are adequate to inform us of the things as they are, still, so long as any part whatsoever has not become consciously knowable by the appropriate organ, the whole seems immediately perceived. And the thinking substance is not made to arise firmly with regard to such subtle intended objects as release. Therefore, only for the sake of reinforcing books and inferences, and the instruction of masters, some one particular thing must necessarily be made an object of perception. Then after a portion of the intended object as taught by these has been made the object of perception, the whole, even unto such an exceeding subtle object as release, is thoroughly believed. For precisely this purpose the purification of the mind stuff is enjoined. If there are fluctuations unrestrained, then when the consciousness of being master with regard to these has been produced, will be adequate to effect the perception of these various intended objects. And this done, he will without hindrance acquire belief, energy, mindfulness, concentration. Bishokan Ban Jyotishimati Pravrutitiruta Banana Manasaha Sthitini Banantani Dianuval Valtate Sthitini Banantani Dianuvaltate. Number 3. Banantini Sthitini Banantini Dianuvaltate Hurudaya Punundarike Tarayato Yang Buddhati Sambit Buddhati Satitvam Hi Pasvarama Kasha Pasvarama Kasha Kalipam Tatra Sthiti Vaishara Diyat Parapuratatiha Suryanandu Gramanui Praparupakarano Suryanandu Grahamanui Praparu Suryanandu Grahamanui Praparupakarano Pikaripate Tata Samitayam Samapananam Chitatam Disatarangangat Mahodati Karipam Nisataranganga Mahodati Karipam Nisataranganga Mahodati Karipam Shanantamananantamasmi Shanantamananantamasmi Tamatram Pavati Yaturada Mukutama. Sorry, being distracted. Tamanumataramatmana Vidya Samitiyavam. Tamanu matrama tama namanu vidya sami dievam. Number 1. Dietanga. Tamanu matrama tama namanu vidya sami dieta bata samprajanite. One more. Tamanu matrama tama namanu vidya sami dieta bata samprajanite. Bata samprajanite. Number 2. Pratijang. Anything else? Prati. Bata sampratijanite. Namanu matrama tama namanu vidya sami dieta. Tamanu matrama tama namanu vidya sami dieta bata sampratijanite. Iti. Esho Devayi Bishokan Vishayavati Asmita Matra Cha Prabhratatil Jyotishmati Tiuchyate. Prabhratatil Jyotishmati Tiuchyate. Nyaya Yogi Nashachetatam Satiti Padam Lapata Iti. Prabhratatil Jyotishmati Tiuchyate. Nyaya Yogi Nashachetatam Satiti Padam Lapata Iti. Okay. I wanted to look something up. Never mind, I guess. Or an undistressed luminous. The word sense activity, when arisen, brings the central organ into a relation of stability, are supplied from. This is that consciousness of the thinking substance which occurs when he fixes his attention upon the lotus of the heart. For the sattva of the thinking substance becomes resplendent and like the air. By skill in keeping stable in this, the sense activity, because resplendent as the sun or the moon or planets or gems, becomes transformed in appearance. Thus, his mind stuff comes to a state of balance with regard to the feeling of personality and becomes waveless like the great sea, peaceful, infinite, the feeling of personality and naught beside. With regard to which it has been said, pondering upon this self which is a mere atom, one is conscious in the same way as when one says one is conscious to the extent that one says I am. This undistressed sense activity is of two kinds, in connection with an object, and the feeling of personality and naught beside is called luminous, by means of which the mind stuff of the yogin gains the stable state. Okay, now a series of short sutras. It's good for me. Pitaraga Vishoyam Va Va Chitatam. Pitaraga Chitatam Lamambano Parakatam Va Yoginasha Chitatam Satiti Padam Lapata Iti. Or the mind stuff, by having as its object, free from passion. Or influenced by having as the supporting object the mind stuff free from passion, the yogin's mind stuff reaches a stable state. Sebab nidra jinyana lamambanam. Sebab nidra jinyana lam. Sorry. Oh yeah. I have 1 hour left. I have 14 sutras left. I might be able to finish it. Sebab nidra jinyana lamambanam pa. Sebab jinyana lamambanam. Number 3. Ni. Va. Nidra jinyana lamambanam va. Tadakaram yoginashchetitam sthiti padam lapata iti. Wait, number 4. I skipped number 4. Yo. Never mind. Or by having as the supporting object the perception in dream or in sleep, or assuming that form which has as its supporting object either a perception in dream or in sleep, the yogin's mind stuff reaches the stable state. Yatha pimata dhyanadva yadeva pimatam tadeva dhyayat tatra labhutasatiti kamaniyatrapi sthiti padam lapata iti. Or by contemplation upon any such an object as is desired. Let he contemplate whatever object he desires. Let him contemplate whatever object he desires. Having reached stability there, the mind stuff reaches the stable state elsewhere also. Paramanu parama mahatitvanantosya. Paramanu parama mahatitvanantosya. Paramanu parama mahatitvanantosya. Pashikarah. Sukushime nibishamanasya paramanam banantam. Parat paramanam banantam sthiti padam lapata iti. Sutule vibhishamanasya paramamahatitvanantam sthiti padam chittatasya. Evam tamupayim kotvimanuthabato yosya pratikhatah. Number 2. Pratika. Yosya pratikhatah. Sa paro pashikarah tad pashikarat paripurnam. Tad pashikarat paripurnam yoginashchetitam na punarapya sakrutam parikaima pekushota iti. I know what I wanted to look up. 40. I just finished 40. I gotta remember. Just finished 40. I wanted to look up. They spelled it wrong. Damn you. What am I supposed to do? 부드티 모트 바다야티. No, I don't want to read it all over again. They spelled it wrong. Wow. Okay. His mastery extends from the smallest atom to the greatest magnitude. The mind stuff entering into a subtle thing reaches a stable state, which extends to the smallest atom. Entering a coarse thing, it reaches a stable state, which extends to the greatest magnitude. This freedom from obstruction of his, while advancing in this way to both of these kinds of limits, is complete mastery. So the yogin's mind stuff filled full of mastery needs not again the purification perfected by practice. Alright, I'll keep going, I guess. Still have an hour left. Ata labutasatiti kasya jatasaha gemsavaru ba gembishoya ba sama patatiriti tadutyate. Kushui no purutera Pijang Tasieva Kushui no Purutira Tera Kushui no Purutera Pijang Tasieva Manue Grahi Turugurahano Grahieshu Tatasatatan Jata Janat Tatasatatan Janata Sama Patatihu Tatasatatan Janata Sama Patatihu Kushui no Purutatariti Pratyasatamita Pratyayasyati Altahu Pratyasatamita Pratyayasyati Altahu Apijan Tasyeba Manuerati. Sorry, being distracted from the inside this time, from myself. Pratyasatamita Pratyasatamita Pratyayasyati Altahu Apijan Tasyeva Manueriti Drishata Nantopada Nama Yata Sapatwika Upashraya Pedat Tatat Duru Poparakata. Upa Oh, they divided it into two words. Dru Poparakata. Upa Shraya Peda Tat Dru Poparakata. Ta Upa Shraya Peda Dru Poparakata. Upa Shraya Upashraya Peda Upashraya Peda Dru Upashraya Peda Upashraya Peda Dru Poparakata. Upashraya Rupa Kareno Nilpasate Tata Grahya Lamambano Grahya Lamambano Parakatam Chittam Grahya Samapananam Grahya Svarupa Grahya Svarupa Karena Nilpasate Tata Bhutasu Kushimo Parakatam Bhutasu Kushima Samapananam Bhutasu Kushima Svarupa Pasam Bhavati Tatanga Sutula Lamambano Parakatam Sutula Rupa Samapananam Sutula Rupa Pasam Bhavati Tatanga Vishiva Pedo Parakatam Vishiva Pedasama Pananam Vishiva Rupa Pasam Bhavati Vishiva Rupa Pasam Bhavati Tata Grahanue Shivapi Nandriya Shivapi Yeshu Grahanue Shivapi Nandri Yeshu Drashirta Vyama Grahano Lamambano Parakatam Grahano Samapananam Grahano Subarupa Kareno Nilpasate Tatanga Grahano Subarupa Kareno Nilpasate Tata Grahitra Purusho Lamambano Parakatam Grahitra Purusho Samapananam Grahitra Purusho Subarupa Kareno Grahitra Purusho Subarupa Kareno Nilpasate Tata Mukta Purusho Lamambano Mukta Purusho Lamambano Parakatam Mukta Purusho Samapananam Mukta Purusho Subarupa Kareno Nilpasata Iti. Number 1. Nilpasate Iti Tadevama Pija Tamanui Kalipasya Tadevama Pija Tamanui Kalipasya Chetaso Grahitru Grahana Grahyeshu Purushwanandriya Puteshu Yan Tatasatadan Tatasatadanjana Tatasatadanjana Teshu Satitasya Tadakara Patatiha Sama Patatiriti Uchyate. I want to read from here again. Tatasatadanjana Tatasatadanjana Tatasatadanjanata Teshu Satitasya Tadakara Patatiha Sama Patatiriti Uchyate. Now, when the mind has reached stability, what is the balanced state as such, and as directed to an object, this is told. From which, as from a precious gem, fluctuations have dwindled away, is, with reference either to the knower, or to the process of knowing, or to the object to be known, in the state of resting upon of these, and in the state of being tinged by of these, and is in the balanced state. The meaning of the words "from which fluctuations have dwindled away" refers, of which the presented ideas have come to rest. He takes as the example the words "as from a precious gem." Just as a crystal is tinged by the various colors of the different things next to which it lies, and appears as having the form of the colored thing next to which it lies, so the mind stuff is influenced by referring to the object to be known and comes into a state of balance with the object to be known and appears as having the form of the object to be known as it is in itself. Influenced by a subtle element, it comes into a state of balance with the subtle element and seems to be the subtle element itself. Likewise, influenced by referring to a course, it comes to a state of balance with a course form and seems to have a course form. Similarly, influenced by particular things of the world, it comes into a state of balance with the particular thing of the world and seems to have the form of the world. An analogous situation would be found to exist also with reference to the processes of knowing in the organs of sense. Influenced by referring to a process of knowing, it comes into a state of balance with the process of knowing and appears as having the form of the process of knowing as it is in itself. Similarly, influenced by referring to the self as knower, it comes into a state of balance with the self as knower and appears as having the form of the self as knower. Similarly, influenced by referring to a liberated self, it comes into a state of balance with the liberated self and appears as having the form of the liberated self. Thus it is that the mind, which is like a precious gem in the state of resting upon the knower or upon a process of knowing, or upon the object to be known, upon the self or a sense organ or an element, in a state of being tinged by these, while resting upon these, changes into their form. This is said to be in the balanced state. Got 45 minutes left. I'm wondering what I should do. Maybe tomorrow I should finish it, which means I should do maybe 2 or 3 more. 따뜨랑 샤브당알 타지냐 나비깔을 빠이흐 삼길 너 사비탈강 사마 빠뜨티흐 다디아탕 가오리티 샤브도 가오리티 알토 가오리티 지냐나비티아 비파게나 비파크타나 마비 그라하넘 들으셨다며 비파지야마나 시자니에 샤브다 탈마 아니엘 타탈마 아니에 비지냐나 탈마 이티에테숑 비파크타흐 비지냐나 탈마 이티에테숑 비파크타흐 빠는타흐 따뜨라 사마 빠는나시야 요기노 요 가바디알타흐 사마 티브라지냐얌 사마 티브라지냐얌 사마루트흐 사 제츠차브달 타지냐 나비까레바누 비드타 우빠 발타테 사 삼킬 너 사마 빠트티흐 사비타케티우티아테. I want to say this last verse again. 따뜨라 사마 바나나시야 요기노 요 가바디알타흐 사마 티브라지냐얌 사마루트흐 사 제츠차브달 타지냐 나비까레바누 비드타 우빠 발타테 사 삼킬 너 사마 빠트티흐 사비타케티우티아테. Of these, the state balanced with deliberation is confused by reason of predicate relations between words and intended objects and ideas. For example, although the word cow and the intended object cow and the idea cow are things distinct from each other, one finds that in the process of knowing they are undistinguished. When these are distinguished from each other, the properties of words are of one kind, the properties of objects intended are of another kind, the properties of thoughts are of another kind. Thus the levels of existence are distinct. If now a yogin has come into a state of balance with one of these, and if such an intended object as cow strikes upon his concentrated insight, and if it comes to him permeated with predicate relations between words and intended objects and ideas, then that confused a balanced state is said to be with deliberation. Or maybe one more, and then tomorrow's gonna be easy. Alright, just one more. Okay, one more. Yada punaho shabuta samketa sumuruti parishuddhatel. Shabuta samketa sumuruti parishuddhatel. Shabuta samketa sumuruti parishuddhatel. Shrutanumana jiñana vikalpa. Shrutanumana jiñana vikalpa shunyayam. Samadhi prajiñayam. 스바루파마트레노 바세티톨타 스트 스타트 스바루파 가라마트라타야이바 바치치드 치디아테 스바루파마트레노 바세티톨타 스타트 스바루파 가라마트라타야이바 바치치디아테 스바루 스바루파마트레노 바스티 돌타스타트 스바루파 가라마트라타야이바 바치치디아테. One more. 스바루파마트레노 바스티 돌타스타트 스바루파 가라마트라타야이바 바치치디아테. One more. 스바루파마트레노 바스티 돌타스타트 스바루파마트레노 바스티 돌타스타트 스바루파 가라마트라타야이바 바치치디아테. 오케이. 사자 닐비탈까 사마바트티흐 따트바람 프라티아쿠셔무 따츠짱 슈루타누마나 열비자무 따따흐 슈루타누마네 프라파바따흐 나짱 슈루타누마나 지냐나 삼하푸땀 슈루타누마나 지냐나 사하푸땀 따드달샤나무 다스마다 삼길넘 브라마너는 따레너 요기노 니비탈카 사마디잠 달샤나미띠 닐비탈카 야흐. I wanna say this again. 닐비탈카 사마디잠 달샤나미띠. Sorry. 닐비탈카 야흐 사마바트테라시아흐 수트레노 라쿠쇼놈 디오티아테 스무르티 파리슈드테오 스바루파슈니에발 타마트라비 닐파사 스바루파슈니에발 타마트라 닐파사 닐비탈카 야 샤부다 삼케타 슈루타누마나 지냐나 비카를 파스무르티 파리슈드테오 그라히아스바루 포파라크타. Number 1 스바 브라지냐 스바미바 브라지냐 스바루밤 브라지냐 루밤 Grahano Tumakam Pyakatuvan Padai Tama Trasvarupan Padai Tama Trasvarupan Grahyasvarupan Paneva Pavati San Ni Tadan Nilvitaikan Samapatatihu Tatan Jan Bien Kya Tam Tasyan Ekabut Butti Buttiyu Bakramo Ekabut Diu Bakramo Hyaltatmano Prachaya Visheshwatma Hyaltatmano Prachaya Visheshwatma Hyaltatmano Prachaya No Hyaltatmano Prachaya Visheshwatma Gavadil Kato Dilvan Lokahu Sanjan Samsatana Visheshwa Putasu Kushimanom Satarano Taima Atma Putahu Palena Vyakutana Numitahu Svabhyanjakanjanahu Pranadul Pavati Pranadul Puto Pavati Taimanantarasya. Number 2. Taroda Yashichan. Okay. 탈만은 따로다. 탈만은 따로다예. 탈만은 따로다 야시짱. Yeah, okay. D. Wow. Kapala derudaye jan tiro pavati. San esho taimobaya bi diujiate. Yosan bekashijan maham shijan nuiyam shijan spashabam shijan kriya taimachak kashijan nitya shijan kriya taimakashijan nitya shijan tena vayabina vyavaharaha kriya는 때 tena vayabina vyavaharaha kriya는 때 Yasya Punarabhasatukaha Sa Prachaya Visheshoha. Sukushimam Cha Karanamanuparlapya Mavikaripasya Karanamanuparlapya Mani Karanamanuparlapya Mavikaripasya. Number 1. Lapyam Karanamanuparlapyam Karanamanuparlapyam Tasya Vaya Vyapava Tata Drupa Pratishitam. Tasya Vaya Vyapava Tata Drupa Pratishitam. One more. Tasya Vaya Vyapava Tata Drupa Pratishitam Vitya Jnanamiti prayana saivameva praputam mitya mitya jnanamiti mitya jnanamiti tada ja samyak jnanamapi kim syad vishaya bhavat yadyadu palapyate tatada vaya pitu phenomena tatada vaya pitu phenomena tatada vaya pitu phenomena tatada vaya pitu phenomena. Number 2. Sorry, being distracted. Na krata na krata tatada vaya pitu phenomena tatada vaya pitu phenomena kratam tasma dasatya vaya pi yo mahatatva ditya divya mahatatva divya bahara pananah samapatate nivitakaya samapatate nivitakaya vishoyi pavati. Number 3. Vishoyo pavati. Okay, that's the end of Sanskrit reading for the day. When, however, the memory is purified from the conventional use of words, and when the concentrated insight is free from predicate relations of ideas, either of inferences or of something that has been heard, the intended object remains as it is in itself and nothing more, and is specifically characterized as having just that form which it has in itself and nothing more. And this is the superdeliberative balance state. This is the higher perception, and this is the germ of inference and of anything that has been heard. From it, inference and anything heard have their being. Moreover, this knowledge is not accompanied by an idea either of an inference or of anything that has been heard. Therefore, the yogin's knowledge derived from superdeliberative concentration is not confused by any other source of a valid idea. He illustrates the distinguishing characteristic of the superdeliberative concentration by the sutra. When the memory is quite purified, which is, as it were, empty of itself and which brightens as the intended object and nothing more, is superdeliberative. That insight which, when the memory is quite purified from predicate relations of ideas either of inferences or of anything that has been heard, and from the conventional usage of words, is influenced by the thing itself which is to be known, and which, after, as it were, in its form of insight throwing off itself, the essence of which is a process of knowing, becomes the thing intended and nothing more, as it were changed into the thing in itself which is to be known. This is the superdeliberative balance state, and as such it has just been explained. For to this, the world, whether such as a cow or whether such as a water jar, is the formation of a single mental act. Its essence is an intended object. Its essence is that it is a special kind of conglomeration of atoms, and this particular kind of arrangement is an apparent form, common to the subtle elements, and it is inferred from its phenomenalized effects. It is self-dependent and presents itself into its phenomenal form by the operation of the conditions which phenomenalize it, and it disappears when another apparent form arises in consciousness. The same apparent form is called a whole, and it is this that is one and great or very small and tangible, and that which is in which actions occur and impermanent. By this wholes the business of life is carried on, but one to whom such a particular conglomeration is not real, since by an indefinite first impression a subtle cause is imperceptible. For him, since there is no whole, nearly everything, in accordance with the statement that an erroneous idea is not based upon the form of that, is reduced to erroneous ideas. And then what will be a complete idea, seeing that there are no objects to which it would refer? For whatever is perceived, all that is a bit influenced by its nature of being a whole having parts. Therefore a whole exists which becomes changed by receiving what is called sizes and the like. This is the object of the superdeliberative balance state. Maybe I should do one more. Still have some time, and then I'll have an easier time tomorrow. Okay, let's do it. 에따야이바 사비짱라 네비짱라 짜 수크시마 비쇼야 비아키아다 비아키아다 따뜨라 부다수 그시마 깨시바 비비아크다 탈마깨슈 대샤간 라니미뜨따누 파바바 마치치는 내슈 대샤간 라니미뜨따누 파바바 마치치 대샤간 라니미뜨따누 파바 마치치는 내슈 야 사마파트티흐 사비짱레티우치아테 따뜨라 비에카부드틸 히압메보 디따 탈마 비시실덤 따뜨라 비에카부드틸 히압메보 디따 탈마 비시실덤 따뜨라 비에카부드틸 따뜨라 비에카부드 티닐그라 히아메보디따 탈마 비시실덤 따뜨라 비에카부드 티닐그라 히아메보디따 탈마 비시실덤 Just one more. 따뜨라 비에카부드 티닐그라 히아 따뜨라 비에카부드 티닐그라 히아메보디따 탈마 비시실덤 부따수 그시마마 라문바니 부땀 사마 디브라지냐 야 무바티슈타테 사마 디브라지냐 야 무바티슈타테 야 부나흐 살바타흐 샤는 또디따 비아바데시아 탈마 나바치치는 내슈 샤는 또디따 비아바데시아 탈마 나바치치는 내슈 살바탈마 누바티슈 살바탈마 드마케슈 사마 바트티흐 상아 닐비자레티우치아테 에밤스바루 밤히 따드두루땅 따드 부다수 그시마마테 나이바 스바루 베너 라문바니 부다메바 스바루 베너 라문바니 부다메바 사마 티브라지냐 스바루 바무바 란자야티 사마티 티브라지냐 스바루 바무바 란자야티 사마티 프라지냐 스바루 바무파란자야티 프라지냐 자 스바루 바슈 니에발타마트라 스바루 바슈 니에발타마트라 야다 파바티 따다 니비자레티우치아테 따트라 마하드 바스투 비쇼야 사비탈까 리비탈까 자 수그시마 바스투 비쇼야 마비 수그시마 비쇼야 사비짜라 니비짜라 짜 에바무파요레 따야이바 에바무파요레 따야이바 니비탈까야 비카리파하 닐비야 키아테티 비카리파하 닐비야 비카리파하 닐비야 키아테티 비카리파하 닐비야 키아테티. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be easy, which is good. By this, the reflective and the superreflective are explained as having subtle objects. Of these, that is called the reflective balance state, which refers to subtle elements, the apparent forms of which have been manifested and which are characterized by an experience of place and time and cause. In this case, also a subtle element capable of being apperceived by one idea and particularized by uprisen apparent forms serves as that upon which the concentrated insight rests. But that balanced state which in all ways and by all means refers to such as are free from characterization by apparent forms whether quiescent or uprisen or indeterminable, and which yet corresponds to all apparent forms and is the essence of all apparent forms, is called superreflective. Since the subtle element is of this kind, it becomes, in this very form, that on which the concentrated insight rests, and it influences the insight itself. When moreover the insight becomes, as it were, emptied of itself and becomes the intended object and nothing more, then it is called superreflective. Of these, the deliberative and the superdeliberative have as object something great, while the reflective and the superreflective has a subtle object. Thus by this same superdeliberative, the destruction of predicate relations of both kinds has been explained. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Should I do one more? I have time for one more. Or I could finish early. Keep going. Tomorrow's gonna be easy then. That's cool. Su kushima bisho yatavam janlinganga pariyabasanam Partivasianol Ganta Ganantama Danama Partivasianol 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 Ganantama Partivasianol Ganantatanmatram. Maybe I should quit. I'll try to say this word a couple of more times. If I'm not jiving with it, then I'm gonna quit. Partivasianol Ganantatanan Partivasianol Ganantatanan Matram Sukushimo Vishoyaha Apiasya. Number 1. Apiasyapi Apiasyapi Pasatan Matram Taijasasya Rupatan Matram Payapiyasya Supashatan Matram Akashasya Shabudatan Matramiti Teshwo Mahamkaraha Asyapi Linganga Matram Sukushimo Bishoyaha Linganga Matrasya Pya Lingangam Sukushimo Bishoyaha Na Cha Linganga At Param Sukushima Masati Nanan Basati Purushaha Sukushima Iti Satyama Yata Lingangat Paramalingang Lingangat Paramalingangasya 사고심이암 나 짜이밤 부르샤시아 김투 능은가시아는 바이까라넘 부르쇼 나 파바티 헤투수투 파바티티 아타흐 브라타네 사고심이암 니라티샤얌 비아키아타무 비아키아타무. It's not too bad. A little rough. The subtle object, likewise, terminates in unresoluble primary matter. In the case of the earthen atom, the fine element of odor is the subtle object of the balanced states. In the case of the watery atom, the fine element of taste. In case of the fiery atom, the fine element of color. In case of the windy atom, the fine element of touch. In case of the aerial atom, the fine element of sound. The personality substance, which is the cause of these resoluble primary matter as such, of this also is the subtle object. Unresoluble primary matter, of this also is the subtle object. And beyond the unresoluble primary matter, there is nothing subtle. If the objection be raised that the self is subtle, the reply is that this is true. The subtlety of the self in relation to the resoluble primary matter is, however, not that of the unresoluble primary matter to the resoluble primary matter. For the self is not the material cause of resoluble primary matter, but the instrumental cause. Accordingly, it is explained that subtlety reaches its utmost degree in the primary substance. Should I do one more? Because this is kind of important. Alright, one more. Namaste. Da eva sabijahe samadhihe da shejatasrahe samapatatayo bahivasatu bijan iti samadhirapi 사비자흐 따뜨라 수투렐테 사비딸고 닐비딸까흐 수구시멜테 사비짱아로 닐비짱아라 이띠 사 짜툴토빠 삼키아 따흐 사마티리띠. These same are the seated concentration. These four balanced states have external things as their seed. Therefore, the concentration is seated. Of these four, the deliberative and the superdeliberative refer to a coarse intended object, the reflective and the super reflective to a subtle intended object. Thus, in four kinds, one after another, concentration has been enumerated. Okay, that's it, folks. I did a lot. Thank you very much. Chanting in about half an hour or to 1 hour maybe. Thank you.